though they may have believed in, Sharia law and everything, they weren't maybe as radically fundamentalist as the Muslim Brotherhood is. So I mean, I think, are we funding the people that we've been fighting and that have been killing our soldiers for the last 10 years? I mean, I don't know, and as Assad, does it make any sense that Assad would do this to his own people, or would the Muslim Brotherhood do this to their own people? Because they would, because they did that in Serbia, did they not?
So what's
with the idea of trying to draw?
Yeah, to draw us in, and they did. They managed to draw us into a conflict.
Not so far. What's the
Will
future?
Will Obama go ahead and strike without the consent of
I
Congress?
do not know the answer to that. I think, what I feel most concerned for is the military. If the resolution is voted down and he decides he wants to do it anyway, they are in a horrible position. They've basically gone against the will of the representatives of the American people, and his order is going to be to go in. And I think you can always have a constitutional crisis.
Is it?
I'm just repeating what you said in my mind.
Right. I have real concern about what that does to the military. I think it's horrible.
I don't believe
position for the military.
I don't believe you will, because if it goes wrong, you will not have anyone to call back on the thing.
We have one of the Republicans. I mean, he already said he didn't say what he said. I mean, it's
No, I mean, if they say,
He
no, you
says
can't do it.
America's red line, and Congress's red line, but not his.
Right.
Interesting.
I mean, it is truly amazing. He takes no responsibility for anything. It is amazing. And nobody's figured that out.
Is it too early to conjecture to the future of the resolution for the use of force? I mean, they got it out of foreign relations the other day. I suppose the Senate's got to speak first.
I think the way it sounds, I think they're talking about a vote Wednesday in the Senate on the floor, possibly. Whether that's the resolution that we'll pick up or not. And it's probably with McCain's amendment, from what I understand, the expansion of the goals or what they're going to do would make it probably very difficult to pass that in the House. I think a very limited, isolated strike would be easier to pass in the House. But I don't.
Yeah.
So if Assad did it and men, women, and children were killed in a gas attempt incident, does that mean by us putting cruise missiles in there and killing men, women, and children is a real response?
Right.
Oh, look at in Africa, all the places that men, women, and children are being killed for being Christian. In Rwanda, when they went around and hacked to death, everybody with machetes. And we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything.
It's an interesting situation.
I mean, how do you pick? Yeah, what do you pick? And I think everything's everything's unstable in Libya, in Egypt. It's just a mess over there. I mean, there's a lot of innocent people that are losing their lives.
Every day.
Yes, every day.
I think taking the focus off of Egypt is something that's probably going to pay a price for. Everything's talking about Syria today, but Egypt is the country that really has the most populated, the greatest influence, and has upheld the treaty with Israel, and which is extraordinarily important for us and for Israel, obviously, that Egypt continue.
Well, one of the big things I have a problem with
We're taking
them,
the eye off the ball.
with this that they're doing, as ex-military, I look at this and say, you don't tell somebody when you're going to start to bomb. You don't tell them how long you're going to bomb. You don't tell them where you're going to bomb.
We've already done
Stupid,
all that.
yeah. We've already done that, and that is the stupidest thing I've
And
ever.
he's dispersed his assets and put them in all the populated areas of Damascus.
Yeah.
That would be our time.
I think it was
Yep.
Dennis Miller on the
We
right.
have to have
He's so
collateral
ignorant.
damage there, no matter what.
I think
You
it was,
said if Assad did it, what's the chances that he didn't? There have been news reports that the rebels had some sort of an accident, it was their weapons that went off, and they did it to themselves, basically. But Obama keeps pointing the finger at Assad.
I've seen report, that the Al-Qaeda elements, the Muslim Brotherhood elements have gone, which are part of the radical rebels in Syria, that they believe that maybe that was to lure us into it, that they did it themselves to make it, then they could blame it on Assad. Not like what happened in Kosovo. Balkans.
Rule number one, make sure you target before you pull the trigger.
Identify your enemy first.
Yeah.
I think it was Dennis Miller on O'Reilly the other night that said we've got to be the only country in the world that sends out calling cards before we attack them.
No, we're telling them exactly where we're gonna get, what type of assets, and we're not gonna go after Assad. I mean, if he did this, does he really care about if we want to kill other civilians? It doesn't affect.
I don't believe he did it for
I don't know.
myself. I just don't
Sarah
think-
Palin thinks that we ought to just let Allah sort it out.
Yeah. All right, I want to pivot one more time and then I'm done. Farm bill.
You're doing a lot of pivoting
I gotta sit under a tent with a bunch of corn growers after
Okay.
that, so.
here. Say I'm optimistic. We're gonna try and move a nutrition title through on the floor of the House. It's gonna be much more dramatic than what the original proposal was, with hopes of garnering enough votes to pass it. If that would not, if we don't have enough votes for that, I think what'll happen is the portion that we have passed will go to conference with the Senate,
Yeah.
and which then could bring back the entire bill, as long as both the nutrition and the farm policy portions are in one bill, you can conference that.
Yeah.
And if what the Senate nutrition provisions were brought back to the floor, you could pass it on a bipartisan. Boehner is, I beat him up all the time on it, but trying to, he's optimistic. He wants to get it done. He's looking at October, probably. That's the plan, by October to have it all done.
We were having a discussion about this last night when we were setting up the corn growers deal tonight. And one of the guys there made a pretty good observation. He says, actually, the farm program titles in the farm bill aren't really that big a deal. We can reauthorize the farm bill and we'll operate on the old one, whatever. The people that really get hurt, not that we don't need a farm bill for the farmers, but the people that really get hurt are the hospitals and the local government units and the folks that operate under development stuff, USDA development. Because that's a giant amount of some of those people's funding.
Right. No, the 80% of the bill is nutrition, food stamps, basically. 20% is actually farm policy along with rural development and all that kind of stuff. There's $20 billion worth of, in the original bill of spending reductions in the farm portion of 20%. And there's $20 billion out of what is 80% of the spending. So it's a total of $40 billion savings it's all over 10 years.
I gotta say, I got a real kick out of when they split the bill, which you'd have thought somebody had killed the fatted calf or something, but all of a sudden, all these farm state legislators that for all these years have run around to these farm bureau meetings and everything and said that they were with the American farmer public. Oh darn, they were only with the American farmer as long as they could get induced to do it.
Could the farm bill pass without nutrition in it?
Well, we passed it in the House.
No, I mean, signed, I should have said passed and signed. Okay, so you're gonna have to have some nutrition. Okay, let's make a left turn. Obama said, Eric Holder said.
Now be careful, we have the Democrat trackers over here.
You want me to start talking about Eric Holder? Brian Terry, U.S. Border Patrolman that was killed by Fast and Furious guns. I can talk about Eric Holder all day long. But anyway, he said that he's not going to enforce federal marijuana laws in states that have passed recreational use, Colorado and Washington, over the 20 states that have passed medical marijuana use. Okay, we have, it's my understanding, this is what I'd like to know, it's my understanding We have a long-standing treaty with South America that we will not legalize marijuana in any form. Is that true?
I'm not sure about that, honestly.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So I check with your staff back there and they'll get
Yes,
back
but
to
I'll
me.
find out. I'm aware of that was a provision.
That-
With Mexico?
It was South America. Now, I don't know whether it's Mexico or what, but it's a long-standing treaty, my understanding.
Okay.
Right.
We don't have a treaty with all of South America. I mean, that would have to be individual countries in South America. But I guess conceivable, unless it's something in NAFTA or something like that, which would be
I
nice.
think it's before the NAFTA. I think maybe go back to the 20s, 30s.
I am not aware of that.
Okay.
Legalize what, Chloe?
Marijuana
Just
in the
marijuana?
US.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you for getting on with Representative Sensenbrenner and supporting his efforts to defund motorcycle only traffic checkpoints.
You bet.
I do appreciate that. I think Claude does too, he's another motorcyclist.
I was gonna say, Frank, I haven't seen you going down the highway lately.
I would like to take another turn and talk about the post office.
Okay.
They're always they're talking about, cutting service, cutting hours, and this. But yet, there's a prime example here, Webster City, and there's a couple other ones up in northwest Iowa, and I know there's more than just that. But here, when they started taking, we used to have 2 rural routes, 2 full city routes in this office when I was postmaster. They moved everything to Creston. By the Midwest areas, which is based out of Denver, by their guidelines, they were not to do anything over 10 miles. 24 miles to the Creston post office. It is costing this
Is that the
office.
sorting down there? and everything?
Sorting, the routes we've got guys in the morning have to go all the way down Creston, get the mail, come all the way back up here, deliver, go all the way back down there, and then come home at night. So,
Are
but,
they paid mileage?
no, not to get to and from work, 'cause that's their office of origin.
Right.
But anyway, it's costing this off the, public or whatever, through, just straight wages and that, between $50,000 and $60,000 a year, just in this office. Non-consummate, or non-wages and that is costing this office here between $20,000 and $30,000 a year. So we're right close to $100,000 a year in this office alone, because the Hawkeye district is bound to determine that this is the best way to do it. I mean, I've seen their figures when they said what this is gonna save. This is supposed to be saving $14,000 a year. Well, that 24 miles, they're saying they can drive back and forth in 13 and a half minutes. Now, I don't know what kind of jet they got, but it's taking that, each one of them, I mean, just the city routes in themselves is taking 2 hours a day driving time. And they will not revisit this. And the businesses around town, the ones I've talked to, a lot of them, like lawyers and a few of the other ones that need their mail early in the morning, they no longer use the mail. FedEx, UPS, anybody, but the post office, because we don't get our box section mail up here. I used to have it all up here and it'd be up, I'd have it up and people come in at 7 o'clock in the morning. Now it's 10, 11, 11:30. Businesses can't operate that way. And we've got, like I say, here, and here in Webster City's in the same, they go to Fort Dodge. They had Waukee being delivered out of Adele, which isn't that far, but they finally put that back.
They did put that.
They did put that back in Waukee, but, I mean, we're sitting here, it's costing the postal service between $80,000 and $100,000 a year, because somebody in there, idiotic, won't say, well, I was wrong.
Right.
250 people work in the Hickman building. 3, when I retired, 3 had ever been out into a working post office in the Hawkeye district. And they're the ones that are telling us what to do. We were making out reports. City routes would come back in, I'm getting carried away, but city routes would come back in, the carrier would have to say, my vehicle's clear. I would have to go out and say, yes, your vehicle's clear. I'd have to come back in, write it down that your vehicle's clear. I'd have to get on the computer, noting that it was clear. Then I'd have to sign a sheet that said, yes, I did check this off because the vehicle was clear, and then at night I had to send it in, and I got all my checklists done. I mean, it's crazy. I could go into that, post office in Allenfont Plaza, I could get rid of 90% of them people down there, and you'd never know. You would never know. In fact, probably run better. There are so many programs out there that are so stupid. At night, paperless. We're supposed to go paperless. New POS terminals. I used to print out, I used to be able to take a full year of paperwork and put it in one of those, well, you know, the tubs. Like, you can probably get your mail in.
Sure.
I can get a whole year's worth on it now. Now it takes 2 a month. That's our
To go
That's
paperless.
the paperless?
Yeah. Because that new POS machine spits out like 30 or 40 different reports when you only need 2. It's just, it's crazy. I mean, like, the postmaster Donahue has not got a clue. And I know you can't do anything about it, but.
Well,
Oh.
the biggest thing, and I know Daryl Ice from California has got some proposal out there, which is for rural Americans.
Mhm.
It maybe could save money in some of the urban areas, but for rural America, cutting the services out here and
Yeah.
all of those things, and what he's proposing is going to be very detrimental to us, so we've got to reform that. But the retirement thing, and the biggest problem they have is they're funding things for 80 years.
Yeah, well, they're already, they're being required to fund the retirement benefits for people that don't even work for it
They're
yet.
not even born yet.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah, the postal
And
civil
that's-
service
that's-
site is solvent.
Most way beyond so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Obama would.
So
love
while
to
we
get rid of
have all these liabilities for all the other federal employees, the postal worker,
We
they're
can,
funded
yeah.
way beyond.
Yeah. Last man dies.
Which is, I mean, you look at it and say, well, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's solvent,
However,
but to overfund it and then
Yeah.
claim that as a major portion of loss of the postal
Yep.
service does not make any sense.
yeah, I know, but I mean, it's just so exasperating when you see them talking about cutting service, and when they're cutting their own throats, is what they're doing. If you've got people not coming in your door, you don't offer them less, you offer them more.
Don't go postal ones.
Going postal means getting on the bike and go on.
I bet that is a relief, doesn't it?
It is. But it's just exasperating when you see it, and the Hawkeye district is the worst in the nation for doing stuff like that. Yep, I mean, they were never, I will say, we were never afraid to try something. They were never afraid to try something. But you get people up there that, you know, they kick them up the ladder to get them out of somebody else's hair, and then they get a harebrained idea, and by golly, it's gonna work. And
Those
it
decisions
doesn't,
are made
and
out
they
of
won't.
where?
Huh?
Where are those decisions made out of?
Out of the Hawkeye district?
Yeah.
Des Moines.
Des Moines?
They're in charge of Iowa and 612 area, and I don't know if they're in the 515 area or not. Part of Illinois and part and most all of Iowa.
Okay.
But it's exasperating when they go by the guidelines that are set for them for like this, and they just totally ignore them. It is not feasible to take over anything more than 10 miles away. That's been that way since 1876.
Michelle is back here waving certainly.
No, I'm sorry.
No, but we need to.
I'd like to thank you for coming out.
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Really,
Really
really appreciate
does
it.
everybody know Laura Hartman here?
Pretty much everybody.
Oh, do I know Laura?
Thank you very much.
Laura Preston, and you're here when we have somebody in every county every month.
Yeah, I'll be in Fontanelle this month.
Once a month.
So I'll be in Fontanelle this month.
Where
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Fontanelle at the library for the traveling help desk where people can come in and they have an issue, they can meet with us. So
And when is that?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
It'll be
call.
in the paper.
It'll be in the paper. I mean, I have it, I just don't have it up here yet.
Readers or?
I get 10 papers, I might miss it.
Hopefully it'll
Will
be
you
in the
please
fun
give
now
him,
paper.
give him a call and tell him
I
exactly?
will.
Because
I
I
have a
don't wanna
couple
hear
of
about
other
it
things I
either.
have to get back to him anyway about, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.